Hey, how's it going? Matthew here. Another episode of Electron Talk, number 24, I think. I think we're on episode 24. I'm in a new studio space now. I've transitioned to a larger home, which I'm pretty excited about. And yeah, I'm getting used to the sound of it all. I'm trying to set this chat up here. The sounds of a new home, because I'm not in a house as much as I wish I was. I'm not. I'm in an apartment, but I do have a room dedicated to the studio. And what I wanted to talk about today was the performance template and how I use it. It's been a while since I visited that and talked about it with people, and I wanted to give folks a chance to maybe ask some questions here in the chat, but also just do a bunch of demonstrations of transitions and ways that you can stack scenes together or put that linearly in serial, move through effects at certain timings to achieve new effects. So mixing different scenes together. My goodness gracious, all the dust on these boxes. You'd think I don't use them, but I use them all the time for how much dust is on it right now. Yo, what's up, Jordan? Dad is back. Dad is back. I'm not Dad, but yeah. So here's what we got going on. The table. I actually improved the lighting in here substantially. I think it looks really nice and crisp because I got it lit up real nice, so I don't have to put my ISO up too high. So there's less noise in the image, so it's just a clearer picture. Yeah, that's just literally my desk instead of my, because I would keep my modular over there, and I found that I don't use stuff sitting on that side of the desk very much. I just use the stuff over here. So I figured I'd just put my computer there. Yeah, now we're watching double. What could we turn? We should turn like a fire on back there. Like a little fireplace. Make it look all cozy. Yeah, so how's everybody doing? Hopefully the sound is good. According to my levels, the sound looks really good. Jordan, you can tell me. You know everything. And, oh, you know what? Nobody can even come in here. My goodness. I have this on private. Let's make this public. Okay. Well, now it's a public live stream, so people can actually come in and join the stream. I don't know how YouTube deals with that, but we'll find out. So yeah, just to recap my little stupid intro, I'm in a new place. I have some new lighting. Not that any of this matters, but I'm gonna go over the performance template that I've designed on the Octatrack. It works with Mark 1 and Mark 2, and it's 64 different effects across 4 parts. And this is my personal version of the template, not the one that I release on Ko-fi or my Patreon. But yes, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show off some of the ways that I use it, the transitions that I do, and some of the tricks. And I also want to get some feedback from people because I'm working on a new template and ran into some stuff when working on the new template that I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I want folks to tell me if that's something that they think is cool, because I find that I have like the same stuff that I go back to over and over, and as I've talked to people who have been using the template that I've made, they have stuff that they keep going back to over and over. And so I want to figure out which thing to put my energy into. Like, a lot of people are using the techno side of things, and I'm working on a techno template, but I use the remix side, and the remix side I think is the most complex side to use. It's the hardest to master. And that's the original, like my old school version of how I use the Octatrack. And I kind of want to talk about it because it's, in my opinion, it's the coolest. It's just difficult. And you have to really be like thinking ahead to use it well. So let me show you what I mean. So on the remix side of things, you're actually able to capture 4-bar loops of your percussive side and 4-bar loops of your melodic side of things. And so the way you would do that is you select a track and you can hold that track down and hit yes, and that arms a record buffer that's listening to this side. So for me, it's the Digitact. Might be a rhythm or some other instrument for you if you're using this. And if I want to record a loop of this one, I hold this down and hit yes. If I want to record loops of all of my record buffers, I just hit yes, and that will arm all of them. So let me give you a little example of what I mean. So I had hit yes, so all of these buffers are now armed, and one of them is playing back already. Track 6 is playing back. You can see in the audio editor that we have different waveforms on different tracks, because this is just the Digitact, this is the Syntact and Digatone, and this is a summation of them all. So there's some tricks you can do. Well, let's get some more elements going. So maybe we want to transition, since we're talking about transitions today. I'm getting all of my pattern mutes ready because I like to use pattern mutes. That way when I move to the next pattern, it's pre-set up for me. I think that's really useful. I don't like using global mutes. Global mutes is really great for a different style of composing music. I think it's really great for like techno and house because there's a lot of improv that's happening there. A lot of my improv is happening with effects and just dialing in stuff on the Digitact, but I'm not like generating a new sequence live for the music that I usually make. So we could give this some filter. Oh, we're on part 3. Here, I want to use part 1 for this on number 7. And this is like some reverb filter, and then it's gonna loop this side half notes of that. And then this one is going to do something similar with more reverb to it. So that's just like one way to transition. That wasn't an amazing transition by any means. Could definitely have done that better. Let's go back. No kick. We got these little plucks. This is the impulse noise engine on the Syntact. So I'm just like pinging a filter with noise. I love how it sounds with some delay and some reverb, and I got it bouncing all over the stereo field. I don't want to just bring that kick in like that. That was nice. That was pretty smooth. Okay, so I have all 3 of these boxes playing at the same time now, so I can start doing some stacking. So I can record this Digitact and function yes and like save it to a temporary state and maybe like mess with some stuff here. Transition over to that. So now you can hear that loop of the dig attack. It's perfect. Same volume. Perfect 4-bar loop. But now I can do the same thing here, and I'm gonna record a mix of everything together. Actually, I'm gonna do it again because I want to use some of these effects. Go to part 3. What do I got on here? Go. Move to another part. Hey, yes to arm it. Let's record a 4-bar loop. There's that 4-bar loop. Let's take these elements out. Little breakdown. Little part. Okay, check this one out. This is cool. We're gonna play this side in reverse and this side clean. Here goes. Now we're gonna bring all these drums back in. I should have brought that back in with it. Damn it. I am not sequencing anything with Oxy One. Boognish 66. EZBOT Sundays. What's up, Brian Bites? So that last video that I put out about MIDI, I did for all the students that I work with, because I do a lot of private instruction. I actually fill all my spare time with private instruction. I had to take a day away from it so that I could do something else. But a lot of like the ideas for like what to make a video on, a tutorial or something, comes from working with people and them asking questions and me being like, well, I should just answer it for everybody. So the Oxy One, the reason I mentioned that is because in the last video that I made about MIDI and how to use it, it's a very beginner video. It just literally tells you how to use the cable even. But we talk about auto channel. I'm using the Oxy One with auto channel, and the reason why I like using the Oxy One for that is I have it on auto channel here, and I'm going into my dig attack with it. You can see it triggering track 9, and it has this chord voicing system in it that's got this smart harmonization, and it's really nice to use with polysynths. So I have the JD08 right here, and the JD08 I think is kind of a slept-on synthesizer. It's a hard synth. It's a hard synth to program. People are turned off by the sliders, but the sound is pretty awesome. So I'll turn it on, and it's a multi-timbral instrument. So it can play 2 different polyphonic sounds at the same time. I think like 16 notes each too. So it's pretty wild. Roland's only released 2 units like this that have that much polyphony and multi-temporality. So really cheap synthesizer for what you get. Honestly, it's like $400 for a brand new one, and you get 32 voices and 2 parts multi-temporality. I mean, that's just a ton of sound design and a knob per function right on here, albeit kind of small. A good idea is to pair it with a MIDI controller. I have the Chic MIDI controller over here that I'm actually designing a MIDI control for my performance template, for the 2.2 template, not for the Techno template. I'll get to that too eventually, but I'm gonna have all the CC messages set up for you. So if you get a Chic MIDI controller, or any MIDI controller, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Honestly, I don't know if that's the right name for it, but it won't matter. I'm gonna have all the CC messages that you need to control the essential functions on the Octatrack with an external controller. That way you can just dial in reverb, because right now you use your scenes, or you have to go to these tracks to dial in your reverb. And I would like to be able to just like turn up reverb, turn up a filter, and also use these scenes at the same time. So I would think it would be really powerful. And the Chic MIDI controller does macro control. So it'll do 2 controls per knob if I want. So I can actually have one knob turn up or turn down the low pass, or turn down the frequency on a filter, and also turn up the resonance at the same time. Or on the, I think it would probably sound better on a high pass filter, but just an idea. I can have it turn up the delay and the reverb at the same time on 2 different tracks with 2 different MIDI channels assigned to them on one control, and it's so easy to program on that controller. So far I recommend it. It's a pretty nice looking controller too. The one I have has got the walnut wood on it. I can just show it to you. This is so darn pretty. This thing is what I'm talking about. One of these guys. So I'm programming it right now to work with the template, and I'll have that on my Patreon and on Coffee. It'll just be a part of the template if you end up picking it up. So pretty cool. I'm excited about doing that. It's really easy to do, so it's honestly not going to take me longer. I might have it done tonight because I'm feeling inspired lately. Partly because I have this, I'm in a new spot, and I like it. My dog is actually sleeping in the bed over here, which is like, didn't happen at my old spot. My dog would not chill. She'd go crazy. So yeah, total detour. As per usual for one of my streams, I get totally lost in these topics and just, I'm all over the place. But the auto channel with the Digitact, I can program chords into the Digitact that are really hard to program in the Digitact without doing that. It's annoying to program chords in the Digitact without using a MIDI controller. So that's what I'm using this for. It's actually going below the table into the MRCC. The MRCC, and the MRCC is multing it out to every machine in the studio. Which isn't that many because I've been putting them all away. So, but it's available to do that. Dog detour. Yeah, exactly. Dog detour. Yeah, you've got the JX08. So I was on the table about like, do I get the JX08? Do I get the JD08? I think they're both super slept on. I think that people have a hard time swallowing the boutique pill because they think it's because of the name boutique. I don't think Roland should have called them boutiques. I think they shot themselves in the foot that way because they're just virtual analog versions, really cool virtual analog, because Roland used this technology called ACB technology, which is analog circuit behavior. So it's not your standard synthesis. They actually recreated virtually the like circuit board, the chipset inside their system, and they spent a lot of money on it. A lot of money went into researching ACB and making ACB really good. And that's why it's so hard to tell the difference between a JU06 and a real Juno. Except for the real Juno, you can tell the difference, but it's a mild difference. The real Juno just sounds different because it's out of tune. And it's just wonky because it's analog and it's old. And the new one's perfect. So of course it's going to sound like a little more digital sounding because it is digital, but also because it's mostly perfect. Anyway, my rant about ACB technology. Don't want Roland to stop making synthesizers with their ACB technology. I would really like them to make them a little bit bigger. They don't need to be this small. But they added effects. This has a ton of effects. I mean, I'm just blown away by this synthesizer. You want to hear it? Let's listen to it. Program. I want to listen to it. Where am I? Can I listen to it now? Yeah, here it is. I had sent an off message on the Octatrack. If you double press stop on the Octatrack and you're using through machines, you are going to cut off all of your audio. You can't hear anything. You have to hit play again to re-trigger the on message to your through machine. Remember that. So anyway, here's the JD-08. This is how big it is. It's huge. It's stereo. This is that smart voicing on the Oxy One. You can see right here, this. I can't really mess up. So my idea with it is just to find cool progressions, either save them as MIDI tracks. I can just go like this. You can just hold down a step and just go. And maybe turn the velocity up on it, because the velocity by default coming out of this is 75. I'll just turn the velocity up on this controller, actually. There we go. So now I have that chord right here. You can audition it. So I didn't have to program that chord. You want to program a, what is it? What did I just, it's a C major, it's an open position C major 7. I only get 4 notes, sadly, but here. A million notes here, but only 4 here. Do you want to program an open position C major 7? Do you want to program a, let's see, a B minor add 9 in second inversion? Can you even fathom what that chord looks like? Like, without knowing music theory and being a keyboard player or a guitar player, but really a keyboard player, because that's how this is thinking. You probably are struggling with it if you're like me. And like, I did go to school and I learned music theory, but I can't just go B minor add 9 and have that pop in my head and I can program in the Digitact because I'm a guitar player. That's like what I grew up doing, playing guitar and singing. So this controller and this configuration is game changer for me and makes it so it's so easy for me to program very tasteful sounding progressions and save them into the Digitact. So like I was saying, I can either save them in here, awesome, or I can just sample it right in here and, you know, kind of like chop it up in the Digitact. So that's what I like about it. That's why I still have the Oxy One. I have talked about the Oxy One a few times on streams, and I really do like it. I don't have any intention of getting rid of it. I always harp on the encoders being in front of the screen, but I've said that so many times I should just shut up about it now. Okay. But once you unlock its potential. Oh, yeah, exactly. You must be talking about the JD-08. Oh, the JD and the JX aren't ACB. You know, that actually makes sense, Alfred. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that, because I do remember Roland saying that they were not going to do any more ACB technology. And then after they made that mention, they did come out with the JD-08. And I thought maybe it was just a rumor. But I guess it's not, and they're using their Zen Core technology. So you can probably find these exact same synth sounds in like the System 80. Yes, you can save patches in the JD-08. You can. And you can play 2 patches at the same time. So forgive me about the ACB technology. I still mean everything I said about it. I still think it's awesome. So the other synthesizers that are using ACB technology, so everything up to the JU06A. Yeah, I said that right. Everything up to that is ACB technology. Where do you get your sound packs? I make them myself. That's kind of, yeah, that's what I like to do. So that's why I buy synthesizers, is to make sound packs for myself. And I do download drum packs though. I'll get one-shot drum samples because making a perfect 909 requires a 909, and I don't own a 909, so you know what I mean? So I kind of stick with buying one-shot samples, but for the rest of it, I use synthesizers, modular synths in particular, and little synths like this. I do have the OP1 over here, which I did intend on using today because I wanted to do some vocoding and sample it, but I still want to talk more about the template and transitions, because transitioning is kind of like is the secret sauce in electronic music. It's the secret sauce in live performance, and I think that folks need to get familiar with it and learn how to do it. So there's tricks to transitioning between parts. There's transitioning between a part in a song, like bringing in a new element, and then there's transitioning to a new song. The like unspoken rule in electronic music, which has been, I feel like live hardware electronic music has adopted like two cultures. It's taken in the culture of like acoustic rock music, even just acoustic instrumental music. And it's also taken in the culture of the DJ culture, and it's kind of like mashed them together. I feel like that's what's happening, at least right now, because so many people that I know are but like they came from the same background as me. Like I'm like an alt rock grunge rocker who's now making electronic music all the time because I'm fascinated with the machines. So there's just like this melting pot of genres. But what I was getting at is that there's this unspoken rule from the DJ culture, which is no silence in a set. Like you never let people stop moving on the dance floor. And I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about live electronic music, is once you master the no silence in a show, it feels really good. And your sets, like, people just are stoked when a song doesn't end in silence and then you go into a new song. Like, you don't give people a chance to walk off the dance floor or go do anything else or even strike a conversation with another person. They're kind of stuck hanging out and listening to your music, and hopefully the sound is good and it catches their ear and they want to be stuck. So I really like that about that. This performance template really helps you accomplish that goal of having music not stop. So like I was saying, we can bring a new element in. So let's go to like another song. Let's go to like this techno-y song that I play. I love playing this song at shows because people always get excited about this type of sound. It's really easy to groove to. So I want to bring in these hi-hats. I can just take the kick out and then just have like a gap of no drum at all, and then bring the hats in. That's one very simple transition. I can just go. And it sounds just fine, but we could do something else. We could do like a loop. That's what I would do, because I use that effect. I overuse that effect. Or we could filter it. If we use a low pass filter, it's gonna naturally remove the hi-hats, so we could actually low pass this whole thing and bring our hi-hats in. And you can't hear the hi-hats because they're filtered out. So now we could take this kick out and go like that. So another transition. And like all we're doing is moving from one new sound to another and making it feel like we're automating it on an Ableton or Bitwig or Logic, whatever you're using, FL. So that's a cool idea. Or it's an idea. You decide if it's cool. So another way to do it could be like a really intense movement, like this one here. Whoops. Like this here. And of course we're waiting till the end of the track here. We wanted to go to that hat, so you gotta catch the harmonic content in this one because the LFO is filtering. So we can go a little bit more exciting. It sounds better when there's more elements already present. But it does sound good. I do like the sound of this effect. But there are some others. So let's go over to the techno side. There was some sidechain pumping happening in my Octatracks. When I moved to the techno side, it wasn't happening anymore. And that's partly because I haven't designed this to do sidechain pumping in the techno template. But I do want to. Oh wait. We have to find the filter. Where's our filter? Here it is. Okay, so we have to do it on this track. Did I already do it? Oh, there we go. Okay. We have sidechain pumping on all of the parts. I should make note of that so people know. Not watching the Grammys. There we go. Okay, so I have sidechain pumping on the techno side. It's got some great transition effects, so lots of delays and filters. So we can go. So we're just transitioning using effects to bring in new sounds. So something like this, okay. So if we're gonna do a transition, we could transition to bringing this chord in. We could take these drums out and then bring this chord up. So what I would do in a live show often for me is I will find elements, I'll be like, oh yeah, so I'm looking at the sample. I know that this is a chord sample, you know, because it's mine, it says house chords. And what I'll do is I'll look at the level. I'll just nudge the level controller here and I'll look at it and I'll go, okay, it's at 115, so I'm gonna bring it down to 0. I'm gonna unmute it. I'm gonna take these elements, let's do it for real. I bring it down to 0, and then I'm going to like do some sort of filtering. We'll leave this on just for like kind of like a metronome, and we'll start bringing this up. And get back into it. So these are just some examples of transitions. So I was saying that there's like some like combos you can do. I don't know, I'm not always playing like techno, so a lot of my stuff can fall into like this electro house IDM territory, or I don't even know what other genres it would be. But so for instance, if I wanted to do like a 3-part effect, we could, let's go to a different song or a different part. I could do the LFO twist or Daft Punk effect into an LFO twist into an echo freeze, all in the same segment. And that is I love that right there, that's a 3-part effect. And it's 3 different timings too, so it's very rhythmic, it feels good. Let's hear it again. All right, let's try it one more time. That was it right there. It's all happening right here in a half note segment. It's almost like its own melody when you do that too. So I love doing those kind of transitions. I mean, I haven't discovered all of the different transitions you can do. So I would love anyone to tell me when they come up with something really cool where they're like, I like doing this effect into this effect and then into this effect in this segment of time. Like another really cool trick I like to do on here for a transition into a song. This is a huge buildup. We'll do it over here. Okay, so we're gonna let me bring in all the other elements. I'm recording a 4-bar loop. Okay, going to part 2. That's like a really powerful transition. And I'm transitioning into halftime, the times of the current BPM. So it's like shaking. So it's another cool transition. We could do it in reverse. I forget what scene it is. It goes down instead of up. So lots of great ideas. And I'm excited to integrate a MIDI controller into this. It doesn't have to be the one that I showed you. It could be any MIDI controller. I have a Spectra 1 Mark II on pre-order that I pre-ordered about a month ago. Pretty expensive controller, but it has visual feedback of all your parameters so you can save and name them. So I can actually make a preset for my template and see the effect I'm gonna control with a name without having to like write on tape. And I think that is pretty cool. Electron is pimp for electro. Yeah, I think so too. Not watching the Grammys? No, not today, my friend. Not today. Well, I mean, I could watch it later, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I want to hopefully after this stream is turned up. You can turn it up, homie. Can't hear anything up here. Yeah, well, I'm not doing it. I'm using headphones, so you wouldn't be able to hear anything. Anyway, that's my neighbor up above me. Yeah, so I really wanted to emphasize how cool it is to use the transition effects, or to use the effects to transition, and hoping to get some feedback from people on their favorites and on effects that I'm lacking in my performances or lacking in the template. Mostly, I think like performing live electronic music, you're really like the best stuff you're using the best effects to use often are just filters, delays, and reverbs. And maybe like flanger or something, or a phaser. Those effects can get you so far in your performances. I do think beat repeat's really cool, but beat repeat doesn't really fly in techno as much because it starts sounding electro as soon as you start using beat repeat. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, feel free to correct me. I already got corrected once with the ACB technology. You know, what do I know? Okay, check this out. So I also wanted to show you and share how I set up my live sets. So all of my live sets, all of the program change and all of the clocking comes from my Octatrack. Previously, I would use the Digitac because most of my writing happened on the Digitac, so I figured it should just be the master clock. But now I write in this grouping all the time, so I always have these 4 together. So now the Octatrack is always my master clock. It also gives you better sounding sample playback because you're pretty much not ever going to have pops or clicks with this being the master clock. And also when you're doing glitchy delay effects, you're not going to have artifacts from MIDI jitter because this is generating the clock itself. So it's not going to have any jitter at all. If the clock is coming from one of these machines, you're going to get MIDI jitter, and that will expose some audio artifacts. So this is how I do my sets. This is how I set it up. So this is about a 35 to 40 minute set. And I just write down before I play a set, I try to have all of my music in the same project. I name them all the same project. And I try to build as many songs as I can in the same project so that I can continue to play shows. I put on a show at these 2 bars in Seattle at the end of every month, and I find other musicians to play with me. And the event is called Mod Bang. It's named after my cable company. And we, since I'm playing all the time, is what I'm getting at. Since I'm playing at least every month and I have to be ready, maybe I'm too busy that month to like work on new music or do anything, but I have to play the show because I'm putting on the show. So I like to have lots of songs available to play. And I keep them all in the same project. That way I can go, I'm going to play this for my set tonight. I'm feeling these songs. I've updated them a bit. I've changed some sounds. I've added another pattern to a song like I did recently and played a new pattern at a show. Or I've added a whole new song and maybe it's 4 patterns long. And that's how I'll arrange it. So I'll go in and go, okay, we're playing this song. This one goes 12, 13, 14, 15, 13. So I actually go back through patterns. And this one's only 1 pattern. This one's 5 patterns. And I'll just put this piece of paper, throw it in my Electron bag, and go and play the show. And I will follow it to a T. I have to follow it or I'll get lost. But sometimes I will just add other songs to it on the fly if I feel like that I went through my set very quickly. Sometimes you go really slow when you're going through your set. And sometimes I think going really slow through your set is usually a bad sign. I think if you're going quickly through your set, that it's actually better than going slowly through your set, in my opinion. But I do think that you need to be prepared for accidentally going quickly through your set, because if you do, you're going to run out of music before it's the next performer's turn. And they're expecting you to play for a certain amount of time. So if you stop early, you're doing that. You're creating this gap of dead air at a show while they're waiting for time to elapse for the next performer to come on, because maybe he's not there. Maybe they're out getting a slice of pizza. I mean, who knows? So I think it's important that you have as many songs as possible in your projects. And I do think it's smart. I think, depending what kind of music you're doing, if you can, make as many songs as you can in the same project. Maybe reuse some of your drum samples so you don't take up all your sample slots on, or sound slots on your machines. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, that's my method. That's what I do every time I'm playing a show. I just grab all these songs and go, "What's up, Richard? My boy." Richie Houghton begs to differ. Yeah, I'm sure Richie Houghton's a gangster. Everybody has their own flow, you know, everybody has their own thing. And Richie Houghton's playing a different style of music than me. That's for sure. I am not a techno god like that guy. You made a scene that goes an octave down and use that with the 5th down a lot. I do ambient and run all through the loop pedal, allowing me to make cool chords by layering the different scenes. Very cool. See, this is what I want to hear. I want people to tell me this kind of stuff. Yeah, the best advice I have is go slow when live and let your tracks play out. Don't rush. I don't know. Oh, in regard to the beat repeat. No, I think that you'll end up playing your songs quickly. And I think that when you play when you're playing, it depends on what kind of music you're playing. So this is a decent conversation to have right here. So let's talk about the Richie Houghton thing. It's not really about Richie Houghton, but it's about the idea of, do we let a song play longer or do we rush a song? We don't ever want to rush or let it play too long. We want it to be perfect, play exactly the amount of time that we want it to play. If you're not using an arranger, you're going to have to feel that and actually feel when it's time to move to the next part of the song. Kind of like you would if you're playing with a band, but usually you have usually you have lyrics leading you through that song to make it easy for you to go through those changes. A lot of electronic music, you don't have that word guidance taking you through the track. I think that it is ultimately better if you're playing techno to let your tracks just go for a while, because people do want to sit in the groove. But if you're playing songs that have like kind of a verse, chorus, or a bridge element to them, or they're heavily inspired by melody, like lots of melodic elements, you can't sit on the same pattern. You just can't. Because people memorize the melody too quickly and it becomes old. So with techno and stuff, dissonance and it being more of a rhythm based track than a melodic based track, you can sit in that track for a long time. So you have some safety net in that music genre that you don't have in more melodic based music, where I think you do have to have your next pattern queued up quickly, because you can't sit there for too long. People are feeling anticipation, and you have to let you don't want people to sit in anticipation forever, because then they get frustrated. You know, we all know that feeling. I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm just taking stabs. I'm taking guesses here. It is nice to be back on stream and seeing people chat. I do always miss, when I miss a weekend. I missed last weekend, and I've been trying to be as consistent as possible, but I missed it because I was moving into this new place with where Shoye, I never can tell if I'm saying your name right, Zach, but Zach upstairs, who's actually Shoye. Let me see. I can't highlight his text or anything. He's playing with me. He's an excellent music producer. I've heard his music and it sounds fantastic, and I'm excited to play with him. Shoye, if I'm saying that right, you could correct me, is playing the next Modbang event at the end of this month, which goes on. It's going to be at this bar called the 4Bs, and I really like it because they have a great sound system. They have this huge sub, and it sounds very tasty. So that's where it will be. That is going to be on the 28th of this month. So be there or be square if you're in Seattle. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time. And if you want to play one of these events and you come to the show, come and talk to me and let me know that you want to play, that you're interested in playing live. It is hardware only. That's the niche, that's the shtick. Nothing wrong with playing with computers at all. I love making music on my computer, and it makes the best music on the computer most of the time. But I love putting on hardware performance live events, and that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I'm into. So that's what we do. So if you are also into that and want to give it a shot, I'm happy to give you an audience to play for, because the turnout is usually pretty decent. I also changed one of the through machines on the template to a flex so I can use samples. Yeah, I actually have a version of the template that has two of the machines as flex tracks, just for that reason. So that way you don't have to go in and tweak stuff. Also, you actually don't even need to do that. You can just use tracks 5 and 6. This is what Circo figured out. Circo is an avid user of this template, and which I'm really happy to see, because I really like his music. He's a great producer. You can actually just take the Q output. So you cue tracks 5 and 6 on the template. So hold Q and go bap bap. And you want to set it up as Q mutes track for this, because you don't want to have two versions of it. But you can cue them up, have it go out the Q output, and then bring it into one of your machines and just turn the mix up all the way so it's not attenuated in any way. And then you can process samples the same way you process all of the effects, like they're machines. So that's really cool. So try that out. It's really easy to do. It's pretty easy to augment. If you don't know the Octatrack very well, making adjustments to the template is going to be pretty detrimental, because it's pretty complex, the machine is, and so is the template, but the machine itself is very hard. So for those of you who are making adjustments and they sound good, that's really cool, and I'm very happy about that, because it means that that this thing is getting into the hands of people who are really diving in and tweaking it, because I love that. And I would love to actually maybe even collect some of your templates, like versions of your template, of my template. Maybe we could share them on my Discord, and I could maybe implement some of your effects into the template. Not yours specifically, but also anybody who's picked it up and has made some changes and they like them. I would love to hear them, see them, and analyze them. Having a track dedicated as an open sample player with preset trigs and then set a parameter to modulate the glitches is fun. Yeah, totally. I agree with that. Changing the OT on the fly is not ideal for me. Got to set it up beforehand. Yeah. That's, I think, is typically the case for a lot of people using the Octatrack. I have 2 Octatracks because I'm an Octatrack dork, and one of my Octatracks is set up for music production. So I just write music in the Octatrack, so I do sampling in it. And then this Octatrack is set up as, I just really use it with these boxes specifically. Yeah, open source Octatrack. I love that. I really love that idea. Brian Bites. That's really cool. You know what I kind of feel like doing is, let's go to bank 4, pattern 1. There's music on it. Let's delete that music. Clear. Okay. Let's program some of these chords using the Digitact. When you're using the multi-timbral channels of the JD08, you used channel 2 and channel 3. Channel 1 is this like auto all channel, and it will trigger both samples. So we want to use channel 2 right now to play with one of the sets of voices. That sounds nice. That sounds so good. Let's throw that chord in there. Let's go. Let's make this 64 steps long. Okay, cool. So we'll go like this. And then we'll go. Okay, so I heard that done. This one should be done. Like right here. Maybe it's here? Maybe it's here, I don't know. I think that's it right there. Let's just use this default kick drum for right now. Let's get this sample out of here.
Well, you know.
Go over to the Syntact. Let's go into the raw. Do we want to use raw? kind of like that. Make it something simple. Copy that. Not in love with this bass sound. Oh, that's instantly a lot better. We gotta copy these parts over. Okay, so we have to go over, because I'm not using my performance template, I'm using my personal project. So I need to actually change all this stuff. We gotta go, where were we? We're in bank 4 pattern 1. Let's just put down a trigger. Wait, what the heck? What's in there? Nice. Okay. All right, that doesn't matter. We're actually gonna copy this over. Let's go here, let's go here. And I'm gonna go part, copy, bank 4, pattern 1, part 1, paste. So sounds like this, like for instance, we just played with the Smart Harmony on the Oxy One, changed out some samples, and it sounds nice very quickly. And we're playing this synthesizer live, like we're not playing any samples. We could try a different sound and on the synth engine, but this, because of how melodic it is already, you wouldn't want to do this for too long without bringing in like a bunch more elements. Try a different patch. Try with the piano. Kind of like that. I'm not going to put those piano chords in there though. Let's go back over here. We could have these go for longer. Let's see. That doesn't sound very good. Different kick. Oh my God. Stop. Jeez Louise. So I can just get lost like finding different pad sounds on the JD-08 because it just is a pad beast. Like, like what? This is why the Oxy 1 is cool, because it does have this smart harmony. Oh, I need to be on that part, which is hold. Yeah. Let's see. So we could like totally switch, because it took 2 seconds to make this pattern, like there's nothing to it. We could switch gears entirely and just use this nice chord right here. Or one of these chords. Or find a... There we go. We could sample it, or just put that down. Here we go. Completely switch roles. Cool, right? There we go. Switching to the techno vibe. This kick leave here. What is up with the sound of this kick? I'm not digging that.
Don't I look?
Just a
Here's some dunk. Let's go into that filter. Wait, are we in some sort of... No. Take me to the tune. Not the detune. The tune. Reverb is feeling a little weak. I feel like I want like a really like evil arpeggio. Let's head over to the digitone. That don't sound evil. We can start with that. Okay. And we'll put a note in here that's like every once in a while, kind of like throw it off a little bit. Filter frequency. Now let's go envelope depth. Okay, so now we can do some cool stuff. What is this at? So now we could do, to bring this in, we could we need something over here. Put this on the kick itself. surround sound here. Yeah. See, those effects, now we're playing techno, I can't like use the effects I normally use. So let's go over here. Oh, that's right. I need to copy that part too. So let's go bank 3, number 9, part 4, copy, bank 4, pattern 1, play, and paste. There we go. See if we turn this into a limiter instead. I think we're somewhere. We definitely left that like really melodic place that we were at when we were first kind of playing around with the smart harmonization with Oxy 1 and the JD08. And then I heard a minor chord and I was like, let's just use a minor chord stab and make some techno because it sounds good. And I am happy that I did that. It turned out to be something that I do like. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Doug? What is the Oxy 1 unit and how does it... Who is Oxy 1 and what does he do? It is similar to the Electron sequencer, but it's just a sequencer. It's meant to be your brain of your entire studio. Amazing how much you learned by watching someone work. Thank you for doing these, man. You've made my Octatrack journey a hell of a lot easier. I've been using the DT for a couple of years, but damn. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Profit and loss. I experienced both those things. Mostly loss. You love those pad sounds. That's the JD08. Which is the master in the setup? That would be the Octatrack. And smart harmonization is that when I move from one chord to another and I'm in, so if I select a C major 9 chord and I'm in the key of C major, if I go to the next chord in the series of chords that would be in a key, then I wouldn't want to go to a D major 9 from C major 9. I'd want to go to the chord that follows that depending on what scale I'm using. So if I was in a major scale, it'd probably take me to a minor chord. And that will do this for me instead of it going from C major 9 to D major 9. It'll go C major 9 to E minor 9 instead. That's the idea. It has this, it's using math and it's beyond my comprehension. But it's valuable and it sounds really nice. Where can I learn more about the Oxy? On the Oxy 1 YouTube channel. Just look up Oxy 1. There's a YouTube channel and there's a ton of tutorials on what it does and how it works and why it's dope. And it is dope and totally worth checking out. Hanjo Synth what just messaged me in my Discord asking, is there a date for the release of the compilation? Yeah, let me address this actually. So the compilation concluded. Also, congratulations, Shane, for winning the Siren. The Siren is awesome, and you're really lucky that you got to get one for free, because you can't buy them. They don't exist anywhere, and people who have them aren't selling them. So you did get a very special gift when you won that. As far as the compilation goes, I have the tracks sent over to the mastering engineer. He said it's going to be a couple of weeks. He's busy. He does it for really cheap. So we're lucky to have a mastering engineer who's going to do it for so cheap. I will ask the people that participated in the compilation that they do donate $15 to the mastering engineer. That's really, really, really cheap for someone who's going to master your track and put it on an album. So I'll address that later, so that's going to happen. I am going to ask for people to do that. You don't have to. I'll cover it if you don't, but I really would appreciate not having to do that. So give it a couple of weeks, and then it will be out. I'll be updating people in the Discord for those who participated. There's a lot of people who participated. I'm really glad to see that. Not as many as the last one, I don't think. Maybe about the same. The very first one had a ton of people, like 50 people. And this one's got like 25 people, so it's not not everyone's gonna fit on an analog tape. I'm gonna have to choose 10 tracks to go on that tape when we do the physical production of the tape, but we'll be able to get all your tracks on Bandcamp. So we'll figure that out later. We have plenty of time. And after the master engineer is done going through the tracks, I will post them in Discord and let people listen before we actually sell it and release it. We will be donating every dollar we make from the compilation to a charity. And I would like the charity to be a cancer charity, because I lost my sister to cancer and I hate cancer. So I really would like to donate some money towards that, and that would mean a lot to me. So here we go. I am enjoying this track so far. There's something really fun about making techno, and I don't know what I should add to it right now. I have so many sound sources that I can use. I feel like I want to hear reverb on this like all the time. This could be like really loud, I think. Okay, so the topic of tonight was talking about transitions. We built this little track together. You were here with me as the delay's going forever because I have the feedback turned so high. But you're with me as we built this track out. Let's perform this little track that we've built. It's the beginning of a song. I will probably flesh this out into a full track and then use it to play at a show. This is one of the few times I get to like do music production, and this is what it's like. This is the experience. Gotta love that. I do love that this whole keyboard right here, it's battery powered if you want. I do have it plugged in, but it's so thin. It's a really well built machine. It is very nice. I do like the Oxy One. I get nothing for telling you that. There is no affiliate link. You should check out the Oxy One for yourself. See if you want to get it. It's expensive. It's like $750 for just a MIDI controller, but it can also control. It has got 8 CV and 8 gate, so that's probably, it's worth it to somebody. It was worth it to me at the time. Still is, but I'm really using it for just this chord function. I wanted to use it as my Eurorack sequencer, and then I was just like, every time I use my Eurorack, I want to sequence it in my Eurorack, like in the system itself. and not outside the system. I keep thinking, okay, I'm going to patch a million cables from this into my Eurorack and have fun with that, but I don't really want to do that. There is actually a piece that goes with this that you can buy, a module, and it uses light pipe, so it's like HDMI. And you can just send all of your CV and gates into the light pipe, and then that will go into the modular. That way you don't have to use all of these CV and gate here. You don't have to use all these jacks with cables, so you don't have a million cables coming out of this thing, making it so it's like really fixed in a location. It'll just be one long cable connected to your modular, and so it'll be kind of like a mutant brain, but this will be the brain, and that will be the mutant. I don't know. Best way I could put it. You can buy one from the Oxy One website. I think you can get them from Perfect Circuit as well. I think that's where I got mine, which is blasphemy because I work at Patchworks and we are a synth shop. But sometimes I have to go to Perfect Circuit. I love Perfect Circuit. I got nothing bad to say about them. They're great. I do, I love Patchworks the most, of course. Thank you for this, such a vibe in your setup. Can you use your beat repeat octa effects you were talking about on specific boxes? Yes, you can. Exactly. I can't use it on specific boxes. I can use it on specific concepts. So I have the effects and the template set up to control the percussive side. So whatever machine you put here, we call it, say, Digitact. So A and B is Digitact, and then C and D is Digatone Syntact. So it is affecting them separately depending on what effect I'm on. And that's going to be a big part of the next template I'm rolling out, is going to be a lot more about specifying what effect happens on what. So this is a macro controller. Macro controls means it controls many destinations at the same time with one encoder. That's a macro. And so I want to have this go up and like bring a high pass filter on this and a low pass filter on that. And then also maybe like separate them or into two different stereo fields. That is an effect I do have on here already. That's pretty similar to that. Let's see. I forget, I keep having to go back here and do this. Let's go back to 3, 9, part 3. Is that what we were doing? Paste. Let's just finish it off and go back here and get part 2. Copy and go here and paste that there. Okay, so now we can do all of them. Which one is it? Is it on 2? There it is. It split them into 2 sides. Hear that? And they joined back together just now? So the melody is in your right ear and the drums are in your left ear. And then you bring them back together. Smush. It's cool. Let's see. We have this really boring ass bass line. I don't think that note is. Yeah, that's better. I don't care for the bassline sound. Let's use an LFO like an envelope generator, which is really easy to do. So you do have 2 LFOs on every track on the Syntact, and if you want to use them as another envelope as opposed to an LFO, it's a pretty simple setup. What you're gonna do is that's your destination. What we want to do is change the mode to 1, trig mode 1, so it only triggers the LFO just the one time. That's just one cycle of your selected waveform, and if we're using an envelope, we want it to look like an envelope. So I'm going to use an exponential wave, and that's going to have a nice exponential curve similar to a decay envelope. And then set my speed to something like 16 to start. And then we choose a destination. And with trig mode set to on and LFO reset set to on, which is how it's set right now, every time one of these triggers happens, it's going to trigger this envelope. So now I can send it to the synthesizer page and play with this ring modulator in the synth page. So we can go to balance. Nice. Chords could be louder. Nothing I can do about it. Oh, I could turn it up here. Let's do something here. Let's like. Wait, I don't like that now. Let's bring in that arpeggiator. So let's go like. Check this out. Oh, this is sounding so good right here. Yes. The new swarm oscillator in the syntax is pretty good.
Oh. That's not what I want. There we go. Try a new chord sound. Ooh, that's good too.
I love this vocoder. This. Where should I talk into this? I don't really know. Do I need to turn up the gain on it? I think I do. Is that? Oh yeah. Now we're vocoding with fire. What? Vocode. Here we go. Vocoder. I don't really know what should we. What do I want? Hello? 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 What do we want to do? What are our chords? What are our notes? What key are we in? Let's go down an octave. Wait, we already down. This should be full mix. Full mix. Full. Hello. Come here and pet my dog. Come here and pet my dog. Oh, we gotta turn this thing on. I'm falling out of love with this bass line. Bass, just bass. Try that. We could duck it.
feel like it's like a straight hat feel. Not like that though. Not like that. Maybe not a straight hat feel. Maybe it is just. Shit, that's awesome. All right, hold on. God damn it.
Like your vibe, I like. Oh, come on, god damn it. Why is there? I like your. Okay, we're gonna say I like your vibe. I like your vibe. Yeah. Get out of here. I like your vibe. I like your vibe. I like your vibe. I'm having a plosive. I like your vibe. Oh, that's it. I like your vibe. I like your vibe. Yeah. Stop it. Okay. Is it right here? Or is it right here? It's right here. Okay. Am I missing? What did I miss? Is it here? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, what? Yes. Yeah, now we're talking. Oh. That sounds dumb. What do I want to do here?
we're missing? We're missing these. Wait, no. Okay. Okay. Let's try and perform this. How will we start it? Maybe we'll start with like no digatone. Just mute, get out of here. Go all the way to on this track? No. Damn it. No, we gotta go like this. So we're gonna take this out. Bring this down. No, we don't want to do that. Out of here. Oh no, did I just change my sound? Hope I didn't. I did. God damn it. hate that I lost that sound. That's so frustrating. Play with this again. No. No. Actually, kind of like that.
What is it? Come here.
Silly dog.
Been a while since I checked in with the chat. Very barky. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. Yeah. Because my setup is not the same as yours, being the triad, the OT, I have to modify and kind of reverse engineer each effect I want to incorporate into my setup. It's a pain, but well worth it. I agree, it is a pain and it is well worth it. Has working on crafting transitions in the Electron environment changed the way you work through transitions in Eurorack? It has. That's a really good one, Matthew Sternberg. It has. So I actually use my other Octatrack whenever I use my modular. I still use this with my modular. So it's really the same effect. But if I just try and use modular, I'm really just playing with whatever synth parameters are going to make something feel more aggressive. It's that same old tension and release. So yeah, I'm just practicing tension and release. You know, how quickly can I build tension? And I don't mean like how quickly can I build tension. I mean how well can I stay in my song and build tension, like knowing what parameters to affect. I feel like I'm talking like in circles by saying that. I'm always practicing, trying to learn the best way to build tension with a sound source, is what I mean to say. Whether it's with a synthesizer itself, like the actual oscillator, whether it's using the filter or an LFO, or whether it's like just volume or some sort of external effect like a reverb buildup or some delay or a chorus or a flanger or something. I am trying to do that with my Eurorack system as well. I'm always doing the same things, whether it's in Eurorack or in outside of Eurorack or on the computer for the most part. But usually when I'm writing music on the computer, it gets into like a much more Mr. Bill type environment because I get really crazy with chopping up my tracks into weirdness. And I use a lot of weird stuff with Bitwig because you can modulate everything. But so I do kind of use some of the same effects, but for the most part, it's going to be what you hear in the Octatrack. I don't know if that made any sense. It's getting very late for me, so I'm about to call it because we've been doing this for 2 hours, and I try and not go beyond 2 hours because it sucks my whole life in. But so yeah, I guess I will just call it. I think we got pretty far. That wasn't the chord sound we liked. Here we go. We ended up with something like pretty usable. I'm gonna have to tweak the hell out of this thing because it's like, that's too loud. Because it's not really there yet, but it's the beginning of something. It may get completely erased. I may not return to it, but for now I enjoyed it. It was a fun process to use the JD08. I haven't used the JD08 in a song yet. I've just been playing with it and learning it so far. So this is the first time I've kind of like incorporated one of the patches, albeit it wasn't made by me. It was just a preset that I used, but it is cool to use this synth. It has its own sound. It does sound like the 80s and 90s. So if you want something that sounds newer, like this may not cover that. Although it does have all those basic waveforms and wavetables in it and some PCM stuff. It's a cool synth. It's a cool synth for sure. I do like it a lot. Any rumors of new boutiques in 2023? No, I haven't heard any rumors on new boutiques. If I had, I couldn't tell you anyway. But yeah, there's nothing that Roland has said to me, or that I can even anticipate. In fact, every time they come out with boutiques, I work at the synth shop and I run the YouTube channel at the synth shop. So I'm always doing releases as they, like I usually know a couple months before something comes out. I'm typically in the know and I make a video for it. I never know with Roland. Roland doesn't tell me, hey, we're coming out with something new. They just do it. They just release it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go make a video on that so I can sell them at the synth store. But everybody else is pretty good about it. Not that Roland's bad at it. They just have their own method. If that makes sense. Gated Caffeine. What's up, dude? Emoji, hello. Deep. Could you make tracks like these with just the Syntact and a polysynth, or you need digtone? No, you could do it with just the Syntact and a polysynth. You can't do the vocal sample. I mean, so that part, no. But everything else you could. I don't like to use the Syntact for my drums that much because it's like you can only get... You end up playing with the same drum sound a lot of the time. I like to use samples for percussion. There are desperately needed updates to the Phantom Zero firmware. Oh, I'm not saying zero communication is a bad thing. It's just a design choice. I got nothing that's bad to say about Roland. Boutiques are best bang for your buck. Boutiques are awesome, man. And I know that there's a big old joke with Volcas and putting them in your ass and so whatever, the whole synth memes thing. But people like talk smack on the Volcas, but the Volcas are dope too. And people, you can take a Volca, and I see a lot of folks use Volcas and like great effects pedals and get a massive amount of bang for your buck. The newest Volca FM has 6 voices of polyphony. Like, they're not like doing shortages of synths of voices anymore. Like, I think they've learned their lesson that people want full functioning synthesizers in a small form factor. Like the M8. So let's just, before I go, things that are coming up for me is I'm learning this right now. I've learned a bit of it. I've already forgotten a lot of it because I moved. But this is the Kuhn. I think that's how you say it. Kuhn Mark II. It is a little groove box with its own virtual analog synthesizer, a 3-part looper. It has a lot of tricks and stuff similar to the Octatrack. The guy who developed it, Brian, I think his name is, developed it, was inspired by the Octatrack. So it has some inspiration from this machine in here. It does granular synthesis, a lot of other cool stuff. It's a cool sounding synth. It's really tough to learn, I'm not gonna lie. This is not easy to figure out. It is a very heady instrument and requires you to like really, give it some of your attention, which is hard because I usually learn synthesizers like super fast because I've made so many demo videos on synths. I'm just like bang, bang, bang. I can just pick one up and just, learn it really quickly, especially groove boxes. This one I'm not having such luck with. I try and learn it and I'm like, oh, what is going on? How do I do this? So I'm feeling really lost. I feel really lost when I try and learn like the Roland MC707. I've said that before, but
that's the same vibe. I'm like, I don't know where the file structure is. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel lost. So I need to spend some more time on that. I'm also going to be playing with the microcosm coming up soon, and I'm going to be doing some live coding. For those of you who are interested in live coding, tune in soon, because I'm going to be doing some live coding videos and some live coding streams, returning to Orca to build some more operators. The last thing I spent a lot of time with, me and Yancey Way perfected the shift register on in Orca, and I intend to go back and we're going to be coding MIDI instruments. Not MIDI instruments, we're going to be coding MIDI sequencers. We're going to build MIDI sequencers from scratch in Orca and use them with the Syntakt. So it's going to be Orca, Syntakt, and that's it. No other instruments. And we're going to make whatever we want to make. Ambient, techno, whatever the hell we want. We can make it in Orca. I have a lot of experience with Orca. And it'll be fun, and I'm happy to do it again. And I'm going to do it right in my new studio, which is great. Or in this new room, it's the same studio. But yeah, I haven't eaten dinner, and I have to take my dog for a walk. If you guys know what that's like, my poor little pooch is just sitting in a little circle over here, just staring at me like, take me out and feed me, and let's go do those things. So I'm going to do those things. Orca does not do synthesis, Brian. It's just a sequencer, unfortunately. And the developers, who are fantastic, I believe they feel like they've concluded their work on Orca and they're done. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen any updates on it in a really long time. So I feel like Orca is kind of like, it's finished. So now's a good time to learn it. And I do have a tutorial on that on my channel. It's one of the most viewed videos I have. Go ahead and check it out. I should redo the tutorial because when I did it, it was like very quiet. But yeah, 4 electrons. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. I actually was going to do 5 at one point where I was going to have 2 Octatracks. But anyhow, I'm going to let this stream end. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the stream at the very least. And if you learned something, that's really great too. I hope that I can help you learn something. If you ever have any questions, join my Discord and ask them there. There's so many people that know so much, many people who know much more than I do. And, you know, we all know something in different areas. So it's a great place to go in there and just prompt questions, very friendly environment. It's the EZBOT Discord. There'll be a link to it in the comment section. After I finish the stream, I'll post it there. Go ahead and join. You can find a link to it in all the other videos. If you feel like supporting me in my endeavors, you can buy the Octatrack template, for one. That's helpful. Or you can join the Patreon. And I'm happy to have you in my Patreon. It gives you access to my performance template, current, future templates as well, and my solo template, which is designed for playing with just your Octatrack and sampling and just making stuff out of samples, but it comes with a bunch of effects, and some sample packs that I've made with my modular, and you get to support an artist. I don't know if that's interesting to you. It helps me because if I don't have to spend my time doing day job stuff, I get to make tutorials on advanced techniques on Electron boxes and other machines. So if you support me on Patreon, you're helping a creator make tutorial content for other people to learn music, which I think is a cool thing. So thanks everybody for hanging out. You're fantastic. My dog loves you. I'm going to play you out with a Modbang ad. Modbang's my cable company. If you're interested in checking out my cables, they are actually, you know what? Let me just show you this. These, my little self-patch cables that I designed, they are so slim. I know Ricky Tinas just showed them off in his last video. These are so cool. I'm very proud of them. It took me a really long time to design them. I wanted them to be really, really short. So they're like shorter than your encoders in your modular system. Currently, I only have these, what I call self-patch in stock. They're 3.5s. But I have these, and I have these cool transparent MIDI cables that you can pick up. So if you want to spruce up your modular system, get some really thin cables that also glow in the dark and look awesome in a UV light, go ahead and visit modbang.com. And on that note, I'm going to play you out with a little Modbang ad. Thank you everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you next Sunday, probably around 7 o'clock. Take care.